For many of us, art can be inspiring, challenging, and sometimes downright intimidating. Angela and Koviak found a space unlike any other gallery or museum in town, and it's owned by an artist who's bringing a shot of rebellion to the St. Louis art scene.
I drive down this stretch of Van de Venner a lot, and I've never really given it a second thought, mostly because there's not really anything to see. But recently I noticed a crazy drawing in the windows above one of these buildings. I was curious just what was behind those windows, and what I found out was far crazier than I would have ever imagined.
I'm out to get and scare absolutely everybody out of their pants. That's my goal. Look at me. I'm a body.
Don't be mistaken by the bellowing voice and menacing bravado. Tom Huck is a man in love with art.
I mean, I look at every print that comes out.
In fact, he speaks about it with such enthusiasm that you're almost tempted to pick up a sketchbook yourself. Walking around his studio, Evil Prince, is kind of like taking a peek inside his brain.
I basically took the aesthetics of a tattoo shop and combined it with a printmaking shop and a 13-year-old boy's bedroom.
It's the perfect environment for his renegade approach to the art of printmaking.
There's a skull with flames on it. Look!
What?
Of course, it's a skull. What's cool about printmaking is that in the bigger scheme of the art world, no one really cares about it. But that means there are no rules attached to it, so you can get away with a lot of stuff.
His works were recently exhibited with a collection of artists known as the outlaw printmakers.
Tom is definitely an outlaw printmaker. He chooses to have a no-holds-barred approach to his work, and he does it with a zest and a glee that's really irresistible.
Most printmakers throughout history have been troublemakers. It's a natural progression to spout off about what's troubling you.
Using art for social commentary is nothing new. But what exactly is printmaking? Simply put, it's an old-fashioned way of making copies.
It's an original piece of art that comes from a matrix of some sort, a block of wood, a metal plate, and it's drawn on, carved on, etched on, and ink is adhered to that surface and then printed.
All prints must come from an original source, and Huck's are large-scale woodcuts.
A lot of people think it might be just a pen and ink drawing, and then when they're told that this has been carved out of wood and inked up, they're blown away. People can't believe the detail that Tom's able to get.
Such a tedious and intricate process seems like an impossible discipline for a man with such chaotic energy.
This is why I got it, because of the intricacy and the detail. I mean, everybody's in such a hurry these days to get everything done instantaneously. I'm really more interested in quality than quantity.
People from all around the country, they're just gravitated like moths to a flame when they see this enormous woodcut of this fantastic image, the story that's there.
A lot of the subject matter in Tom Huck's works is drawn from his childhood in Potosi, Missouri. But these are no idyllic images of small-town life. He's more like Norman Rockwell's evil twin.
I had heard these crazy tales about things that went on in that area all through my childhood, and I had those images in my head, and so I'm fortunate I get to take those images that are in my head and put them out there.
This is a pregnant bride at her party after she's been married, and she is whooping it up with her friends at a bar, and there are strippers in the back. She's firing a pistol as she dances on the table, all to the tune of a violin player.
So it's just like a very traditional wedding portrait.
In Huck land, this is a very common traditional wedding.
Gallery owner Philip Sline has known Tom Huck since the two were art students at Washington University. He admits that some of the imagery in Huck's prints can be a bit too macabre for the casual art enthusiast.
They're not made to match your sofas. They are difficult works, but they're the best kind of works because they're the type of works that challenge you. They're the type of works that make you think, and they leave you with an indelible impression.
I never bought the highbrow, lowbrow thing. I think it's easy for people to lump things into categories. I don't care about any of that categorization. I just want to get my images out there to everybody.
Huck has no interest in being the critical darling of the art world. He's doing things his own way, in his own space. And he's opened it up to fellow artists to share his same rebellious style.
There aren't any other print shops that look like this, that are there for printmaking people, that want to do, alternative-y type of prints in a very traditional medium.
What makes Tom's space unique is the energy that's there, and he's really sharing it with a lot of other artists that bring even more energy in.
It's an environment that has no limitations on it when it comes to making kind of art you want to make.
It really helps to have the support of other people who are in similar places,
Some days it's like the Merv Griffin show over here. People are just popping in. You wouldn't believe the people that come through here. Just people want to stop by that are in the know.
It fits into St. Louis as a very unique art space and as a very unique venture. And there's a lot of art happening in St. Louis, but there's nothing like Evil Prince.
After spending time with Tom Huck and Evil Prince, reality can seem a bit more bland and colorless. So the next time you think art is a little boring, take a drive down Vandeventer and look up. You might see the evil glow of a printing press.